Hey! Welcome, one and all! I am your humble ringmaster Crowmeda, the self-proclaimed worst player to attempt ARK and Hardcore due to my lack of knowledge of the game, but who has a tendency to survive only through sheer luck. And it is with great pleasure that I bring to you today my attempt at 100 days of Hardcore Scorched Earth, which just so happened to be recorded during the Halloween event. So, we have a little, let's say, side objective in this show, folks. As per usual, I have a few announcements to make. Number 1, I have multiple social media accounts to follow, as well as a second channel, which many people don't seem to know about. But basically, that's where I'll be posting regular Let's Plays of a variety of games and vlogs. Links to all of that down below. Number 2, if you would like to participate in events organized by yours truly, and possibly appear in future videos that I have planned, join the community Discord. And number 3, if you feel inclined to maybe, I don't know, hitting that subscribe button at any point of the video where you are enjoying yourself, not only would you be improving my day significantly, but you'd also be helping to change the tide of this here graph. I am certain that together we can impact it greatly. Giving credit where it is due, my main inspirations to make these 100 days videos are as follows: Luke the Notable, Forge Labs, and of course, Zanny Zebra. Links to all the dudes are down below. Hey everybody, it's me, your future boy. I just wanted to step in and quickly say that recording this was a ton of fun, and I thank you for having recommended this map to me in the community section. However, I do need to express that during the recording of this video, I had an immense amount of technical difficulties that happened to me, and I'll go into more detail on them when they arise during the video, but I just wanted to get that out of the way and really hope you like the effort that I put into this video. Now, my lovelies, the time has come to grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and hold on to your seats, for the stage is ready, the cameras are rolling, and the curtains have begun to unveil the adventure you have all been waiting for. So, without further ado, let the show begin. Sorry, since this was during the Halloween event, let's try, I don't know, maybe a different approach, shall we? How about... Howdy there, partner! Here we are on the driest ARK to date, and it is completely correct of you to assume that I did not complete this on my first try since, well...
Okay, yep, I'm gonna go the opposite direction of that.
Recording on this map is the first time I've ever set foot on this map, so this land is completely unfamiliar to me. So, needless to say, we had quite a rough start.
GG!
But it was Persona 03 that would prove to be the iteration that would get us through the harshness of the desert. But yeah, my dudes, day 1. Some time was wasted obviously from the death, so we had to rush to make a shack ASAP, since the weather really doesn't play around in this map. This spot right here where we spawned was pretty much just as good as any, since it had a water source, and that's pretty much all that I needed. We did find the time to tame up, as per tradition, a Listro, and I named him Kumpel.
You're my friend now.
The night was extremely cold, so I just hunkered down for the night. I could not set foot outside without probably dying. On day 2, I was minding my own darn business, when due to the thunderstorm outside my house, my entire town had a power outage, so that messed with my save data a little bit. But after redoing what I had done, I set out to kill a para for some hide. During said hunt, I realized that there were many raptor packs around me, so I was on my tippy toes nonstop. To maybe get rid of the raptor problem, I made some bolas and boomerangs just in case some decided to get too close. I knew from prior 100 days videos that a spyglass is crucial to tell if you should attempt to tame a hostile dino or not, so I set out to the nearby mountain to find some, but I soon realized that this would be impossible without water skins. I was also very surprised to find Explorer's Note in this map because, I didn't think they were here. I thought it was only an island thing. So, yeah, it was nice. A very welcome boost to XP. I had so many things I wanted to do, but it was just so hot out to leave the hut, so we had to wait for the sun to die down a bit. Once we could finally leave, I made 3 water skins, and it was at that time where I realized that you cannot refill them from just plain water. So, that was a bit of an issue, and I figured taming a Morellatops would be the next best thing since it kind of works as a portable water tank based on what my community has told me. This flimsy hunt went through the night, and thinking back on it, it was very stupid. I could have died at any moment, at any time, from so many things. Yet, we didn't, but we also got no Morellatops. The next morning, I came to the conclusion that a top priority should be to make a well to place on this water source. So, resource gathering began, and I made some hide gear as well. We pressed on with our gathering and also made a bow, mortar, and pestle, and I wrote that I needed to kill bugs. Why, you may ask? I have no idea. So, I went out for that, but I almost died due to the heat, and apparently taking off my hide gear makes me cooler, so yeah, new things were learned. We began the process of turning our thatch hut into a adobe block, and it was at this time where my town decided to have another power outage, so had to halt recording for a bit.
Again? Really? Really, power?
And, well, the worst case scenario happened where my motherboard fried from the power outage. I halted recording for a long time, put in a spare motherboard in, and a whole ton of crap happened afterwards, but we'll get to that once we cross that bridge.
Okay, so I come back a week later, and now we got whatever the heck this is in the game. I don't know what this is all about, but must be Halloween.
Once I could finally record again, we got the chitin that I wrote down that I needed. Again, not sure why. And yes, I call it chitin now, because all of you made it very clear that it's not called chitin, okay? Thank you for that. On day 4, we got rid of some pesky raptors and made our so desired well. Big stepping stone, great success. But I was too dumb at this point to fill up the water skins. No worries though, later I did figure it out, okay? I'm not dumb, I'm just a little bit slow, or maybe a mix of both. The main part of the day was to keep building with Adobe and make some narcotics for future tames. But alas, the heat is so intense for ya boy, so I had to stay in to, you know, keep shelter. In this time though, I used my first ever chibi. I named it Frosh. Once the sun decided I was allowed to set foot outside, it started getting dark, and it was no regular night by any means, as fireballs were falling from the sky. Your boy thought, you know, this is it. Okay, good run. We made it to day 4. GG.
This might ever so slightly be bad.
But I had no idea that this was the indication that the Dodo Wyvern had spawned somewhere in the map alongside its zombie wyverns.
You know what? I'm not gonna deal with whatever this is. I'm just gonna go inside. Thank you very much. Excuse me?
This freaked me out a bit since, well,
What?
I had no idea what that was. I never heard of it, so, you know, quick Google search. I understood the situation now, and I didn't like the situation that I was in.
Yeah, I don't know how to deal with that.
For those that don't know, a quick explanation. During the Halloween event in Scorched Earth, every couple of nights, these beefy boys spawn pretty much anywhere on the map at precisely midnight, and they leave once the sun rises. And yeah, that's a whole army of nopes. This is bad news, since it could spawn on me if I'm at the wrong place at the wrong time, and would make very short work of me. But you already know, this meant that I couldn't make this video for all of you without attempting to kill it. So my mind was made up this night, looking into the burning sky above. I was not only to beat the Manticore on alpha difficulty, but I was also going to kill the legendary Dodo Wyvern.
Oh, that's how it works.
On the 5th day, I figured out how to fill the also needed water skins, and I still wanted umbrella tops though for berry collecting, as well as, you know, something to carry metal. But to tame one, the most effective way in my mind was to first tame a raptor, since it's fast and I can KO things while mounted. So I KO'd and tamed this here Robo-Raptor.
Okay, so we got Captain Canada.
However, the heat was just overbearing for little old me, so I had to take shelter, and once that passed, we made a saddle for this dude and kept building through the night.
Alright, first time on a raptor.
It was on the next day that I made a forge, so it was time to get metal going, and during this I figured out how to get silk, which was needed for desert cloth gear. We obtained some metal too, so hopefully we could get started with some basic tools, which would be another big step forward.
What? Excuse me? Excuse me? What in the frick? Okay, that was a bad idea. I thought I did it smart, but apparently that's not the case.
Once I returned, there were raptors on the base yet again. They're easy to take out, but it was worrisome to think about that I could get pounced every time that I leave my hut. Again, it was too hot on this day, so desert cloth became the next top priority. We proceeded to make a smithy and get a bit more metal when we had our first golem sighting.
Oh boy. Nope.
It was during our way back where we got stuck in a bit of a pickle.
No. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alright. Thing is, we can't get up, so all we can do is go down.
After cautiously traversing this ravine of sorts, we found our way out and back home. Ya boy mainly focused on getting his hands on some silk, pearls, and metal, which led to making all parts of the desert cloth set except for the helmet at the moment. But to compensate for that, we made metal tools. Yet it was still too hot during the peak hours of the sun to be traveling far from base, so during this, I finished up the hut to be entirely made out of adobe and made some neat design features a little bit. Not really. It was compact and useful, okay? Let's just call it at that. Towards the later hours of the afternoon, we set out to find some crystal, and with that, we made the desert cloth helm. It was on this night where flames began to spew forth once more from the heavens as the Dodo Wyvern arrived. And let me tell ya, it was super close.
Oh no. I see them. I saw them there for a second. Okay, yeah. Oh my goodness. So they can spawn close by. Oh no. Okay. This might be a rough night.
That freaked me out so much. The fact that it could just show up and end me in a second is quite frightening when you want to survive 100 days. It was also at the same time when a thunderstorm decided to show up, and the combination of these two events honestly just made me feel like I was playing in the end times.
Yeah, okay, we're not getting. Oh, no. I'm keeping a good lookout. I don't know if they like move. What the? No, Wyvern's over there? What the frick? And a thunderstorm is showing up? Yo, if this does not have apocalypse written all over it, I don't know what does.
On day 8, we finally were in possession of a spyglass, and with this tool in hand, it was time to start taming some things. First up was this Morellatops, who I named Tank. Did I name it Tank because it's a walking water tank? Or did I name it Tank since it's a chunky little tank? We'll never know. Now, with a beast of burden on our team, we could get higher amounts of metal from the dried out river down below.
Okay.
And yes, we did make him a saddle. And hey, Tank is really good at berry gathering, so narcotics were not a problem anymore. What was also neat was that these candy corn drops tended to have veggies and special candies in them for speed boosts, so I grabbed some here and there. The day after, Tank and I were just gathering some wood, having a jolly old time, till we decided, screw it, let's tame an Anki. So we KO'd this one and just camped it out through the starry desert night. On day 1-0, we tamed up the Yankee, and I was sort of in a Borderlands kind of mood, so I named it Krieg. I saddled him up, and to my disappointment, he didn't gather sand by breaking rocks, and I wanted sand to build more out of adobe. But hey, you know, metal stonks would be going up through the roof with this bad boy. We made a long neck this day and wanted to level up ASAP to kind of really get to use the darts, so we set out to find some more explorer nodes. As we were running about and grabbing notes and avoiding golems, we did hit quite of a rough spot. And this is all thanks to these annoying lizard birds with rabies known as microraptors.
No. This is the end.
The situation was dire. Would this be the end of yours truly? Well, I wouldn't give up without a fight. We did lose Captain Canada, which made me very sad since I really bonded with him. But there was no time for mourning. We had to run. Our dramatic escape leads us to this boulder, which granted us some temporary safety since our aggressors couldn't come up. However, being stuck here, surrounded by aggressive creatures, is not ideal as my water and food supplies were draining quickly. And as I was contemplating a plan, the temperatures began to drop. And just as things just couldn't seem to be able to get any worse, balls of fire began to spiral from the orange moon, signaling that it was a wyvern night. To our luck though, we did not seem to be close by this time.
It's 108. How am I supposed to get out of this? There's no way I'm getting out of this.
Into the next day, we were fighting off our attackers, but to very little result. We quickly ran out of arrows, and the bows we had broke too, so things were not looking good in any way, shape, or form for this aspiring survivor. No sir. The only option we had was to make a run for it. But this would have to be done strategically, and if there is anything I have learned from multiple hundreds of hours of recording hardcore ARK, is that there's no shame in running as fast as the wind to see another day. I sort of kited some of the dinos to the other side of the boulder, opposite of where I tried to make my break for it, and with that, I sprinted like never before. Luckily, I did make it home in one piece to my surprise, but I was still quite bummed out about losing our raptor.
That was stressful. That was so stressful.
But before I could claim a new one, a sandstorm halted my expedition, which made me realize that I kinda needed Jerboa, cause that would have been handy right about now. We hunkered down in the raging winds, since we couldn't regain any stamina. What were we supposed to do? Once it had passed, we made a jar, which was a nice quality of life upgrade, but the remainder of this day was just spent looking for a new mount, which yielded no results. Hey there, slight little announcement to explain all the technical difficulties that are about to unfold. On day 12 is where the major difficulties started. See, something was screwed up with my PC by putting in a spare motherboard because mine had fried earlier, and, well, it resulted in me getting many blue screen crashes. And what did this do to my game every time this happened? Well, it forced me to make a new character every single time I would join into the game after it happened, even though I never died. Here's an example of how it is.
You see, this is what I have to deal with, okay? I don't know what to do at this point. I can't, I don't have a character to download. I don't really know what to do. See, my guy is right here. My guy is right here. I didn't die. He's literally just standing there. Asleep.
So yeah, this happened to me many, many times during recording. It's something that I have absolutely no control over, and whenever this happens, my character never dies. And I can't just keep playing with that character because the game doesn't allow me to. So what I just simply did was I logged back in with a character, named it the same way, and simply claimed everything that I had gotten up until that point and leveled myself automatically to the exact same level that I was when the blue screen crash occurred and continued the run. That's all I could do, since it would be way too unfair to me to have to restart the entire run every single time I got a PC crash without even dying. So yeah, I tried to bring back all the sleeping characters throughout the playthrough to the hut, but I couldn't do that with all of them, since when this happened super far away from the base, it would take way too long to just bring my body back. Either way, back to the adventure! On day 12, after reclaiming everything that we had prior, we made this stone trap to hopefully tame some things in the future, like a direwolf or something. The day after, we did manage to get a wolf into the trap. However, it died from my arrows, which was a no bueno in my book. Which reminded me that I really wanted to level up to level 62 for the darts. So, yeah. I had to rechange my plan a little bit. So I just built whatever I could in hopes to get to level 62. Which resulted in the hut looking a little bit better, I think. I don't know. What do you think? And well, for the rest of the night, we got more metal, KO'd a new raptor, and got scared of the Wyvern moon rising once more. But it didn't give me a spawn alert, so I figured it was bugged. On day 14, we had successfully tamed our new raptor Genji, saddled him up, and got our first Jaboa ever, which I named Lucio, like my Monster Hunter Palico. We made some more upgrades to the base, like a feeding trough, started making some gunpowder, and made a crossbow. On day 15, we KO'd this Dodo, though now we were facing a true heat wave, and I learned quickly to respect it. We did manage to tame up this boy though, and I named him Brick, still going with the Borderlands theme a bit there. And I was glad to see that this dude could get us some sand.
Yeah!
As I was minding my own business collecting resources, I suffered another blue screen crash. And thank you to the holy MKV recording format, since it doesn't corrupt the video file when a crash happens.
Everything's set up again. Level 57. My game crashed when I was 57 and this dude decided to fall asleep. I don't know if I can just kill this guy and I can just loot all the items, because I'm really not in the mood for spawning in all the items that I had in my inventory. PvE is now disabled, so can I kill you now? Yes, I think I can. Thank you. Give me my stuff, bro. Thank you.
Needless to say, I was extremely frustrated by the fact that I had to go through the entire process of learning all my engrams and reclaiming everything, and, well, just as I made a fabricator, you guessed it, bam! Blue screen, baby! So yes, again, new character creation process, and I messed up a little bit while reclaiming things, and chaos just broke out at the hut, resulting in Genji and Lucio sadly dying. But, well, you just gotta keep going. Either way, I won't mention all the times this happens in the future, else this entire video would just be me raging on about blue screen errors. But pretty much the entire day was wasted regaining everything again. But the Wyvern night happened, but thank God it was a safe one. On day 17, I made a generator to go alongside our fabricator, as well as some grappling hooks, since it can be a very handy tool to get away from danger. I wanted to make an oil pump, which I had never done before, so I went to get some crystal from the nearby mountain to make it. Sadly, on day 18, it didn't record the beginning of the day, but we took our journey very carefully up the mountain and we made it all the way to the tippy top, and thanks to the note we had gotten, we reached level 62. We got crystal that we wanted, but our way home was riddled with dangers in the form of sabers and carnos.
Carno.
Once home, safe and sound, I made a fridge and darts, which got me super excited. But we required more metal, so this working boy set out once more. After loading up on raw metal, we returned to craft some things when we suffered another heat wave, so we just kept crafting at home, but inside, which is when I made the mentioned oil pump. So, once the heat passed, we wanted to find a spot to place said oil pump. But, you guessed it, Blue Screen swoops in to give me a big fat no on that plan.
And here he is, the gentleman.
So yeah, hop back into the game, rebuild my character, claim all my shiz, and set out on my quest. We found a new jerboa to tame, and well, my naming thought process was kinda like, it's like a fennec fox. Fennec. Kenneth! However, the oil spots eluded us, and we needed to return home for food. But this was also good, since I made myself a canteen, which is just top tier goodness in this map, let me tell you. 'Twas another wyvern night that night, but we were safe. Day 20, I set out once more to find some of that sweet oil, baby, which led me to these dunes. On the way, I made a tent, which was pretty useful since it can shield you from the weather effects, and it's just good to have in case an emergency arises. While searching for oil, we weren't really that well received by the local fauna.
What the heck? Bro, why are you angry at me? Bro, what did I do to you? Bro. Bro, what the heck? Why is he angry at me? Chill! Bruh! What was that for? I didn't even do nothing.
After that tragedy, we returned home to tend to Tank's severe wounds, and this just made me make up my mind that I needed a RG to go on expeditions. The terrain is just too filled with danger. Almost every outing results in me almost losing my life, for crying out loud. I needed more obsidian to make a harpoon gun and net projectiles, so we set out on this little side quest. Yet, to my surprise, I couldn't find obsidian on this mountain, so our only option was to scale the more treacherous cliffs in the distance. On day 21, my mind was spinning with what I needed to do to get an RG most effectively, as I didn't have a trap, didn't have an harpoon gun, nor fast mounts to use darts from. And while I was chewing on thoughts on what I should do, is the moment when I spotted this hippity hoppity dude. Yeah, you're coming with me, buddy old boy. I rushed home to grab some mushrooms after I landed the KO, and it was just enough to tame him up, and I named him Hop. And no, not Hop because he hops. Hop from Pokemon Sword and Shield, okay? How uncreative do you take me for? Superheat had me locked indoors once more, but once free of the overbearing heat, I set out to gather pelts to make the saddle for Hop. It was on day 22 that we got the saddle ready, and we took Hop for a spin. It's important to mention that this is my first time that I'm using a Procoptodon, and I was just having a blast.
What? What? Oh my goodness, why didn't I get one of these sooner? Are you kidding me? This is like the coolest thing ever. Oh no. Oh no. Whew. We're alive. Now where can a man find some obsidian around here? This place seems horrible.
But yeah, we headed out to the larger mountains in search of resources. We made a slight mistake by being so far from home, since a wyvern moon rose again. But we were safe, and hey, got more explorer notes, which made Hop just a insane lean main jumping machine. The day after, we were still out looking for obsidian, which was not infested with hostile dinos, till we came across a safe patch finally.
Time to skedaddle. Excuse me. Coming through. Oh, hello, good sir. How you doing?
But yeah, in total, our explorations gained us another 3 nodes onto me and Hop. And we were just blasting through levels like it was nobody's business. Kenneth, however, was warning me of a weather change, which tensed me since I didn't know what change was coming, and I am not fluent in Fluff Rat.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Take it easy.
I like it, Kudgy.
Whoa, 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 whoa. No. No. Screw you. No.
We did make it home with our haul during this thunderstorm, and I was just feeling very successful of our gathered supplies. With these resources, I made the desired harpoon launcher on day 24, and went to end some bugs while I was looking for an oil spot since I needed more polymer for the nets. It was on this journey that I finally found oil, and a very good metal area which I'd frequent very often after this discovery. After setting up the pump, I went home, where I prepped hunting supplies along with the net projectiles. It was on day 25, the quarter mark to the challenge, where I went to look for RGs. However, I could only find low levels at this time, so I did the next best thing, which was just to grab a note and go craft like a maniac. Once the boost was over, I set out to hunt again, and I did make a stop to the oil pump and realized it was making a very good amount, which made me really happy. Close by though, I came across a not so welcome sight.
Whoa.
A lightning wyvern was prowling the plains. I don't know how it got there, but I was not messing with it.
Hello, Mr. Golem. Oh, goodbye, Mr. Golem. Oh, yes, baby. Ooh.
The next day, I realized my RG hunt plan had a flaw, as I did not have a pod to take it into once I caught it. So I redirected my efforts back to resource collection and made some more forges. I was out and about when a heat wave struck, so I huddled down in my handy dandy tent and was snug as a bug. In the early hours of day 27, I stepped out of my tent and scouted out the dunes where I came across this ruined city, which was just an amazing sight. Overhead, I could see a fire wyvern soaring through the sky, so I was very wary of encountering more. We also came across this coliseum, which was just awesome. And I gotta be honest, I was also worried of coming across something dangerous in there, but curiosity is my middle name, so you already checked it out regardless. The blazing rays of light emitted by the sun was too much though in this region, and I needed to take shelter with a tent once more or become a well-baked crow. Once out of the confines of my safety tent, I finally spotted what seemed to be the fabled Wyvern Trench, which I've heard so much about, and that's when my mind told me, you know what, screw it, wyvern taming time. So I went home thinking of a plan, yet I would soon come to realize that this is no easy task, okay? It's not that simple. This day was spent sweating over making metal, stone foundations, pillars, ceilings, behemoth gates, and so much more. But I realized that, well, for me to trap a wyvern, I kinda needed an RG like I wanted in the first place, to lure it and all that kind of stuff, and get the egg. So, back to making a cryopod and scouting for a good RG. And I needed it to be a really good RG since I needed to outspeed wyverns with it. I decided to try to make pods at the Blue Ob, but I did this very carefully as I had been warned of capros. And well, there were just so many more hostile dinos aside from capros, okay? The list would just never end. I took even more caution as I got the world event notice as usual that the Dodo wyvern was here. Once the sun shined upon the mountain peaks and glistening dunes, I decided it was time to approach the terminal to make my cryopods. Ooh. However,
It's that close. It's right here. It's super close. Oh no. No. I'm not dying here. Not today. Not today. Whew! Gee believer, that was too close for comfort.
We proceeded to kill so many things near the ob and lured away many more. And this just honestly felt like a game where you need to fend off waves of enemies, to be honest.
Where does all this shit keep coming from?
I was rewarded with 3 cryopods in total, which was plenty for now. So now we could get ourselves a feathered friend. Something was up with my game files though, since fireballs just decided to stick around and just fly across the sky all day long. We spotted a level 100 RG and I immediately went for the KO, which was just so easy. Didn't miss a single shot. The morning of day 30, we tamed up the RG, and since there had been so many fireballs in the sky, I named it Fireball. On our path home, we gathered resources to make the saddle for him, and so with that, flight had been unlocked. Flying around with Fireball just felt so right. We took the time to gather an insane amount of Explorer nodes since we really needed to boost its speed to like 180 based on what I read would outspeed a Wyvern. The next day, we were still grinding levels, but I tested out giving it some of the Halloween candy since it temporarily boosts its speed, so that came in very handy. It's also cool since the candy changes its colors. We took a break in between at an oasis for some food and drink, and decided to exterminate some mantis for XP and polymer. A Wyvern Knight spawned once more, but we were safe. On day 32, we did pretty much the same as 31, which was leveling, killing, and gathering resources here and there. We did make it home, which was very comforting. Since we had a decent amount of polymer now, I set out to get some crystals since we could make a riot shield, which seemed like a good idea at the time. So we grinded on that, as well as gathered pearls and some metal, and before you knew it, we reached level 100, and we had 2 auto turrets. And I know what you're thinking, Crow, my boy, why would you need those? Well, my curious friend, it's part of my plan to fight the Dodo Wyvern, but based on a community poll that I made, it seemed like I should have made heavy auto turrets instead, but oh well, no use crying over spilled milk, as they say. Day 34 was kinda chill and grindy, since we spent all day gathering all kinds of resources, but I did make my first ever chainsaw, so that's pretty neat. And well, same goes for 35, the Wyvern trap wasn't going to be a small structure after all, but hey, using the chainsaw while being mounted on this hippity-hoppity-roo was really handy. For some reason, I made this bridge, which is from one of the mods I had installed, and it was really cool. I have a list of all the mods that I used down in the description. It was on this average old day 36 where we had a very close encounter with Lady Death, my friends. Just see for yourself.
What the heck was that? What? What? I was stuck. I was stuck in my kangaroo. Oh, now they want to get him? Oh no.
We had to leave Krieg there in his KO state since we needed to get some more armor since that was just way too close for comfort. We returned as fast as we could to help him out. We fended off the predators and we continued to watch over our boy until he woke up. But things were getting a little bit hairy to say the least since 3 Rexes were on this location, which just wasn't what I wanted to be dealing with at this point. The next morning, 2 of them were getting close, so we had to lure them away from Krieg, and that bought us the time we needed to get him to wake up and cryo him and get the frick out of there. But I did learn from my attempt at the island that if you want high-level Rexes to spawn, go kill the weak ones, so we did that with Fireball. I guess the game decided to reward us after that scary scenario with a golden shoddy, which was very nice since that's just what I'd be needing for cave exploration later. During this day, I saw level 92 Rex and, well, screw it, taming time. It's not perfect, but I just felt like it, so I just started blasting this Rex with tranks through the night. It was at sunrise where we managed to get the KO and got a ton of prime meat to speed up the tame. It was kind of tense though, since two Uties and their packs were super close to the Rex we just knocked out. However, we did successfully tame her up, and since her color was such a deep dark green, I named her Jade.
So precious.
The remainder of the day was spent just grinding that metal. The bullets for the Dodo Wyvern, they weren't gonna make themselves. Day 39 was a mega grindy day, just making heaps and tons of trap pieces, my friends. Doing this alone, even with good resource collection dinos and boosted gathering, is just no small task. On day 40, even without having all the pieces done yet, I set out to start placing some of them to get an idea of if I was going at it the right way. It's important to mention that I based this trap on Chicken Bone's guide. We were doing this as another Wyvern night happened, and the zombie wyverns were much closer than I'd like them to be.
No. Oh, I'm glad I started recording just in time. Oh my goodness. All of a sudden they were getting way too close for comfort.
Aside from building the trap on this day, we got our hands on a Ascended chainsaw, and whoa baby, this machine is going to be so useful down the line, you already know. During this back and forth to build the trap, I came across an Ascended Halloween candy, which had an insane boost to speed, so I saved this for Fireball once we would set our plan into motion. Day 42 was repeating the same building process, however, Kenneth was making some weird noises, which apparently meant a sandstorm was coming, so slow building day. We did make a little bit of progress though. It was finally on day 43 where the trap was complete, and yes, the cage was to KO a female wyvern to get its milk for a baby. To get the baby, I needed to steal an egg in the midst of the Wyvern Trench and fly out with a ton of angry wyvern parents on my tail. So in preparation, I started making a net out of stone pillars and ceilings, which should stop most chasers in their tracks. I also made the wyvern cage door open and closable by a remote pin, which for some odd reason just wouldn't respond and took forever to sort out, but we got it. 'Twas a wyvern night yet again, but a safe one. Once ready, Fireball and I set out to kill some Rexes and level up just a little bit more since we weren't quite at the desired speed level just yet. This leveling process took us into the next day, but combined with the candy, Fireball now had a total speed of 188. And that's about as good as it was gonna get, since leveling at this point on him was just taking a really long time. So, it was time to gear up, put on my big boy pants on, to go steal my first ever Wyvern Egg. I was as prepped as I could get at the time, but I was just so extremely nervous. The thought of a horde of flying lizards chasing me, shooting fire, poison, and lightning just wasn't a relaxing thing to think about. But the net was all done, which should provide me with somewhat of a safer escape. I had never been this tense before, to be honest, in ARK. One wrong move and this whole run would be over. But since I was going to go through with this, I wasn't gonna settle on a low-level egg. Also, not just any egg. I was set on getting a lightning egg, so my target was quite specific. We did anger one of the wyverns, but the net worked just as planned, and that assured us that a escape would be viable to try this again tomorrow. On day 46, we descended yet again into the trench, and we weren't getting too lucky with the egg levels. Until...
I'll take your entire stock!
I think we did it. I think we did it. Whoa, whoa, almost crashed. Okay. My heart is uncontrollable right now. Holy moly. Oh my goodness. I literally felt like a cold run through my torso, like deep, deep, deep fear as I took that egg.
There you have it, everybody. My first ever attempt at stealing an egg was a success, and a rather large success at that. But we still weren't done with the trench, as we needed to get some wyvern milk. So, with the eggs safely deposited at home base, we returned to the trap we made in hopes of trapping a female. And a low one for that matter, just to not waste too many darts on the KO. We attempted to lure some in, but they got de-aggroed very quickly, and the ascent of the orange moon made us wait out the night just to be on the safe side. It was on day 47 where we actually managed to lure in a female and landed the KO.
Nice. Oh. A level 8 did that much to Fireball? I mean, Fireball doesn't have a lot of HP, but look at that, half health. Well, that was easy. Alright, cool. You stay down. Nice. Cool, 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 cool.
So we snatched up all the milk and flew home as fast as we could to start hatching our precious baby. I was so happy. I just don't know how to explain. I was so excited to get my first ever wyvern. The hatching was done by placing a ton of torches until I could see that the bar started to go down. During this though, I realized I left Kenneth out by the trap, so I'd need to retrieve him sometime later or he'd die for sure. As the egg was about to hatch, a thunderstorm rolled over the mountain range, signaling the coming of this powerhouse of a lightning dragon. It was perfect. It's like the ARK knew what destructive force was about to spread its wings across the lands. And you might be wondering, why was I so specific on getting a lightning egg? I had been binge watching the anime that time I got reincarnated as a slime, and there's a dragon called Veldora, and it was blue. That's it.
Okay, it's working. I'm not gonna touch anything with the torches. I don't know if it needs torches, but I'm about to die just because of the heat.
I was sure to always immediately imprint baby Veldora, but during the waiting time, I did want to do something close to base to be productive, so I tamed up this Direwolf, finally. Not only because I've never had one before, but because in the same anime there are Direwolves and the main one was called Ranga, so I named mine that way too. Once back home, Veldora was ready to take flight. So we took to the sky, knowing we just boosted our odds of success significantly. And it felt super good flying with them, since I just had such an easier time exploring now.
Laser beams from the sky!
Hey there, me again. Slight little announcement of another technical difficulty that presented itself. See, I had set the difficulty to 5 at the beginning, but apparently Scorched Earth can be bugged on that. See, for some reason, the only way for level 150 dinos to spawn for some people on this map is to go into the game files and override the difficulty text. So, not knowing this was really bad, since I wasted 5 days looking for high-level Rexes to no luck, since it was impossible for them to spawn. Like, that's all I did. I just zippity-dooed back and forth trying to get some Rexes for, you know, nothing. So I'm not going to count those 5 days, since they are invalid and faulty, since the only thing I did was that. Now, after changing the settings in the correct way, on day 49, I was scouting for some high-level Rexes anywhere in between level 140 and 150. And I ended so many. This area just spawns so many Rexes that I knew I'd be finding one very soon. For day 50, we did the same until we came across a level 150 Rex, so we began our unrelenting barrage of Tranks. This hunt took us into day 51, and once it was KO'd and I had some prime meat in its inventory, we set out to keep hunting for more Rexes to use our time more efficiently. Once tamed, we named this Rex Oma, and we brought her home, where we made our next stack of Tranks to get us a male. The day after, we spotted another level 150, but it was a female. Not what we wanted, but I decided to tame it anyway, just in case it had better stats than Oma. Once the next day showed up, Oma 2 was tamed. However, our original Oma had better stats, so back to finding a male. However, we did restock our metal in our forges, for the great fight would require bullets beyond belief. It was on day 54 where we finally came across a high-level male Rex, which had me so excited. Our army would be unstoppable. The KO process went off without a hitch, and we protected our sleepy bean through the night as it was yet another night of the winged zombies. Finally, we had the required keys to making an awesome army. And of course, I named them Opa. I immediately began breeding them, and again, I'm not that good at ARK, and breeding for mutations is still a bit new to me, so I did my best to keep track of them by naming the babies in order of 1, 2, 3, etc, etc. I thought to myself, I'd need a breeding pen with AC units for them to hatch, and so on and so forth, so I spent the rest of the day building a hatchery. As I was still building this day, I still figured, you know what, I'll just hatch these next to the forges since that seemed to work just fine. And now I had a adobe hut for who knows what reason. Here we also got our first baby Rex, which actually resulted in 2 babies, which was awesome since the faster I could get this ready, the better. As a sandstorm pulled up, I spent the time imprinting our twins and researched the artifacts since even though I don't tend to Google for answers for game-related things, I had no intention of going into the caves blindly. As I was researching, I decided to tame a Thyla for those adventures. 1, since it's OP, and 2, I never had one, so it'd be really nice to test one out. So, with that plan in mind, Veldora and I set out to get metal. And in this trip, we snatched up a level 72 Thyla. And yes, I know, it's not that high of a level. However, it's the best that I could find, so it would have to do somehow. We'll worry about the details later. And well, remember the cage we made where we tamed Ranga? Well, we just plopped this fuzzy murder kitten in the same cage and we made this taming process so much smoother that way. However, it wasn't all rainbows and sunshine as another wyvern night descended upon the lands. As I was taming this fuzzball, I returned to base to receive our 3rd baby, which to my excitement had a melee mutation, so later we'd swap that one out to make even better ones. Not long after, Bun, our Thyla, was tamed. And I tested him out, which was so much fun. I now see why everyone kept telling me to tame one. Y'all already know that we was gonna be getting a piggy. Oh yes sir. As we were flying across the map, I may or may not have misclicked, which ended in a heartbreaking tragedy.
No, Kenneth!
Father, help!
Kenneth, no! No, not Kenneth!
It was on day 60 where we got this hog and used the box again for an easy tame. And, well, Veldora's great at getting prime meat, so the tame was swift. And with that, we tamed Pumpkin. And as fire fell from the sky again, Lady Luck was on our side, keeping us safe. Aside from making metal and met brews on this day, we had twins yet again. As I was about to head out for more supplies, a sandstorm hit, which reminded me that we need a new jerboa. So we got Wisp. Our next hunt would be for a Yuri. And if you've seen any of my last ARK 100 Days videos, you know that I just hate hunting these dudes, okay? They're way too fidgety for my taste, okay? Plus, they're fast and they have the attention span of a fly. And, you know, for me personally, it's just never really that great of a time. But it is necessary. So we flew out And out of all of them, we spotted a level 104, kept track of where it was, but we kept looking for something better. In the meantime, we checked on the growing army, which was coming along nicely in between our scouting sessions, but I was worried that the levels weren't going to be high enough, to be honest. As for the Yudi, I just settled on the level 104, but I made some stone gates in hopes that I could trap it in sort of a mountain passage. So, yeah, we removed the Carnos ahead of time and attempted to trap it.
Never mind, that was not a good idea. Didn't think he'd be able to fit through that door, but silly me.
Still trying to tame it next day.
I think we got. No, we did not. Dang. Okay, well, he can't come through this way, so at least I got a chance here.
We almost messed up big time since Veldra seemed just as pissed off as I was because of the Yudi.
Yo, take it easy. Just got off you. Why are you that aggressive to him, man? Chill.
So we had to retreat a little bit just to reset his settings safely. Next attempt, and it was just not having it. Nope, nope, it showed us how much it had no intention of cooperating with us in any way, shape, or form. So, as per usual, we chased it down.
You fast, bro, but you ain't fast enough! I'm hot. Don't tase me, that shit stings. My safe word is pineapple juice.
Put your hands behind your back.
And watch your fingers, booty hole man! That's what you know. You ain't get me. I got you.
Every time, man. But you lost, man. You lost.
Finally, at home base, with all the pieces for our army in place, we made a saddle for him and gathered polymer all day long, as well as some metal. On day 66, we crafted, got some metal, and chilled out for a while, and I came up with a plan for which I started to set all the Rexes to breed separately from the main pair though. As for this Wyvern Knight, I went into my hut and just prayed for the best. 67, not much to say except resources and babies. At this point, we had a good amount of fertile eggs, so it was time to set my plan into motion, which was to bring rocks for brains to an explorer's node, hatch the babies right next to it, and eat them for insane XP boosts. However, things never go as planned, although this time it was mainly my fault, since he got cryo sick, so we had to wait it out. This waiting took up until the next day, so in the meantime, we went drop hunting for hopefully good Rex saddles to no luck. At night, we hatched these poor souls and immediately devoured them with the Yudi, which got a whopping 48 levels, so that is a success in my books. I decided to tame up a vulture for the caves for some extra DPS, so we got this dude, we named him Buzz. Metal was looking good, and we got a ton of meat for the growing army. It was time to get the 3 artifacts. We were looking pretty good, not gonna lie.
Okay, so this is about as prepped as I'm gonna get for the cave. I got 7 bed brews, I got food, I got a shotgun with good amount of ammo, I got grappling hooks, rocket launcher in case I run into some rock golems, sword, water. I have hop and a cryopod with me as well, just in case. Bun, I tried to get to 5k health. I don't know if that's good, but that just seemed like the right thing to do at the time. And Buzz, not really looking too good on the health department, but he's mainly there as a distraction. As for items, I have some parachutes as well, just in case I fall somewhere, but I have some spare water, good amount of missiles, cryopod just in case I need it. I don't know why. Arrows and some spare armor just in case my stuff breaks. And got a riot shield, journeyman chest plate, and some ascended flak legs just in case. Never hurts to have a little bit more armor.
There was one close to base, so we went to that one first. And it was really neat, super cool, immersive design, but no dinos were spawning. And with that also, the artifact was nowhere to be seen. So I just ran around like a loony, and it just appeared out of nowhere. And when it did, so did all the cave residents. So we just legged it on out of there with our first artifact in hand. And after that, we set out to the cave under the church. I was super scared to proceed in this one, but the same thing seemed to be happening where nothing was spawning, or at least not much. And once we got close to the prize, it was gone as well. Seemingly though, out of nowhere, things got out of hand very quickly. We managed to snatch up our prize and we got the frick out of there at full speed. Since that last cave had its difficulties, we spent the day repairing our gear and making supplies for the final cave. Since, well, there's not much we could do. This sandstorm just gave us a big fat no-go on going there today. Best we could do was just get there by nightfall. As we entered this cave, you guessed it, nothing spawned again. So we ran back and forth, killing many beasts waiting for the artifact to spawn. However, we pulled a big brain move to not waste this time, since there are many things to kill, which in turn means there's a lot of resources to be had. So we just ended the entire cave's existence like 5 times straight and brought all the resources back to Veldra, who was waiting outside. Once the artifact finally decided to grace us with its late arrival, we went home and had a final surprise today, in the form of triplets. 3/4 of the way, baby. Things were looking good, but we can't forget that to summon the Alpha Manticore, we needed 20 Wyvern Talons of every type of Wyvern, which is no small task, honestly, since they're quite annoying to kill. So, after restocking our metal supply, we set out to eradicate some Wyverns off of this plane of existence. Doing battle in the sky was not only scary, but also very, very slow, which is when I had a great idea. Remember that net we made? Yeah, this was going to be our ticket to easy kills. So, just to summarize day 76 to 81 for ya, we hunted wyverns for the main part using the net. We had Pumpkin stationed at the trap with us to heal Veldra's health once it got too low. And in between, we made some metal runs just to be sure that the forges were working for the most part non-stop. And in those trips, we were sure to imprint babies as best as we could, although not all of them I actually got to 100%. Yeah, finally, on day 81, it is when we had all 60 Wyvern Talons ready for the boss.
Another triple kill, let's go.
There obviously had been Dodo Wyvern Knights in between, and luckily I didn't spot it at any point at the trench. I say luckily because there are actually a lot of spawn points for the Dodo Wyvern to appear in the trench. I was really glad that, well, I wouldn't really need to go back to the trench ever again. I had my fill of all that I needed, and I really didn't want to go back there anytime soon. So we redirected our attention to other handy-dandy items for the Manticore fight, which was to get many cryopods, obviously, and a gas mask, for which we needed to kill some danger noodles out in the dunes for some black pearls. As we killed our first worm, I realized just how many levels it gave to the one that got the last hit, which was the perfect way to power level the Rexes that I'd be using for the fight. So my process for the future, and today, was to go with a set of Rexes, kill 1 or 2, bring them home, heal them up with Pumpkin, and in the meantime, bring some other Rexes to just keep fighting. I did this process on day 83 as well, since it was some sweet XP, broski broskies, what can I say? But I also made some bug repellent since I got the idea to tame a mantis, which I had never done before. Same can be said for 84, but instead of repellent, I made the gas mask, so that's another item off the bucket list. And, well, 85, still kept doing it. It was kind of enjoyable, and I wanted all my Rexes to get 1 kill each. So by doing this, the Rexes were getting up to around 30k health each and like 600 plus melee or so. I tried to hunt for Rex Saddle blueprints again in this time, but just no luck to be seen. After killing one more worm on day 86, I decided it was time to get us a mantis. However, people have told me that this is kind of difficult because they can really mess you up, so I was a little bit nervous. After scouting for one for the majority of the day, we found this level 120, whom I approached slowly with my bug repellent active and successfully tamed him up. And I named him Jack after, well, yeah, it's another anime. It's Jack from Black Clover. I was so excited to use this bad boy since I knew this was our ticket to a whole new world of metal production. I also need to mention that somewhere down the line of Rex breeding, I got another mutation into our set of breedable Rexes, which was on the HP stat. Not sure when that happened, but I know it happened. We proceeded to power level Jack the same way we did Rocks for Brains, and whoo! I put around 40 levels onto this butt boy and just dumped it all straight into weight. And with that, we were ready to break some rocks. After some required crafting, we set up this forge conga line and we proceeded to get this industry underway, so we collected wood and metal all day long. I was sure to always use wood for burning since I really needed charcoal for gunpowder to make the thousands and thousands of bullets we'd need. Yet again, the Dodo Wyvern made itself known on the map, but we were safe on our little business trip. On day 88, we made a fabricator for the metal center since that would allow us to make the bullets on site, which would save us a lot of time from transporting the metal and gunpowder all the way to home base. We were busy all day with production, but we took the night to hunt for some desert drops, you know, the red ones. But weirdly enough, there were none to be seen, which was kind of odd, I thought. So I Googled it, and supposedly it is another glitch or something for which you need to like reset your settings again and then back to what you want, and it's a whole mess, and I just wasn't dealing with it, so no. I had the thought that, well, we would need a ton of food for Pumpkin during the boss fight, so I finally made something from one of the mods that I had, which was a grill. This would be used to cook meat in bulk and was really nice. I really liked the looks of it. The idea was to cook a lot of prime meat, since, you know, I think that's a good food to put into a hog for healing. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments by all means. And since metal production was sorted for a good while, we set out to kill more worms down in the desert. But this time we would be bringing back all of the meat and all of the prime meat for cooking.
Ooh, that's really...
Finally, on the last stretch of the challenge, we started preparations for the Dodo Wyvern trap, since there's no way in heck that I'm gonna be fighting this thing in the open skies. So, 'twas a grindy day, making stone pillars and ceilings and behemoth gates. During imprinting more babies, we spotted 3 tasty looking drops, but to my frustration, none of them had anything good to write about. I suppose my loot drop luck was all wasted on Ragnarok. So we let out this frustration on more worms. The Dodo Wyvern made an attempt to find us yet again, but we were safe, luckily. On day 91, honestly, just was spending my time back home with the kids and preparing more and more pieces of the trap, which we managed to successfully prepare that day. We still had some underleveled Rexes, so we set out once more for danger noodle hunts, but sadly, I made a bad call and one of them met its end. Which was sad, but dang, Rex number 18 had gotten a frick ton of levels for sure. But the urgency of the final fight pressed me to set up the trap that day, and I was feeling as ready as ever. We restocked the bullet farm on day 93, but we were significantly lacking on the gunpowder side of things, so we made many more campfires in hopes to produce the amount of charcoal that we needed. And, well, since we had no luck with Rex Saddle blueprints, we made a smithy at the metal center, since that's where our prime stock of ingots was at, so that's where we started to make some saddles for the boss Rexes. We also, for the most part, finished the mega trap, which was a relief. The horde of wyverns were out and about once more, but we kept ourselves hidden from their terror. As day 94 came around, we had the turrets set up, and I made sure our Rexes were at peak performance with their levels set. The team I was taking with me had on average 30k health and 600 melee as said before, but some were quite above that in melee. However, we needed just a few more Rexes to be power boosted for the fight, so we went to level them up the same way we did using our immense stock of eggs. We repeated this process for Rex number 24, and golly, it got 51 levels, making it easily our strongest Rex so far. Along the way, we snagged our saddles and brought them with us and started lining up the best troopers for the battle looming over the horizon. But I miscalculated and still needed to level up a few more, so I rushed to get that done since I was feeling pressured for time, since basically in the next 5 days, yours truly had to kill the Alpha Manticore and the Dodo Wyvern. Finally, all the Rexes were level boosted, so we decided, well, let's do what we do best for meat. Kill more worms! But someone, a certain little someone, decided to make a surprise appearance.
What? What? Excuse me? Yo, it's in the middle of the day. What are you doing?
So we set course for anywhere but there. Got meat, went home, and, well, since we had so much food by now, we used a ton of it to heal our Rexes with pumpkins, since leveling up their HP leaves them at a very low amount of current HP. Once everyone had eaten their fill and were healed up by the medic, I potted them up, for tomorrow would be the day the Manticore would fall. Needless to say, I was nervous. This would be my first time facing an alpha boss ever, and I was not sure if our team had what it takes, since, well, I have no reference of what alpha ready stats are. But there was no more time for changes, it would have to do.
Attention! How are we doing, my lovelies? Hope you're all well rested. Yes? Y'all got some grub in your invos, y'all got your saddles, except for one of yous. I don't know what happened with that, but we're just gonna ignore that. You'll be fine. Armor, we got some flak on, and we got some desert gear just in case, and we have a gas mask, just in case we get poisoned from the Manticore. And here we go. It is time. It's now or never. It's do or die. Ride or die, my friends. But we should be fine. I forgot my med brews, but I don't want to leave right now, because if I leave render distance, then this guy's going to eat all the food in his invo, and that's going to suck. So we're going to try and do it without med brews, which is going to be a bit of a doozy. But it is the way it is. We should be good. We should be good. So without further ado, maybe a little bit of further ado. I want everybody there. Okay? Here we go. Well, they got loud as soon as I said that. Okay. Enable passive healing. Get on you. Is not everyone gonna come with? Oh no. Okay. 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 We just wait. We just chill out until the lands. It seems like everybody's here. I was worried there for a sec that not everybody would be there. There we go. Move out. Go get him. We need to boost him. We need to boost him. We need to boost him. There we go. Oh, they are shredding it. That's for sure. Okay, we gotta be careful because here come the death worms, and they are pretty powerful. Okay, we don't want to. That's what we don't want to get hit by. What you guys doing, huh? You having a good time over here? Yo, how about we focus on the main honcho, huh? Alright, good. We got some chip damage in on him, and we just cycled them off onto one of the death worms. Whoop. Woo! Not today, buddy! Get him! Melt him! Melt his ass! Well, we're doing good though. I should probably take care of the death worms, but we're doing so good. Look at his health, man. Go get him! Okay, maybe not. Oh, okay. We killed the death worm by accident. Bonus points to whoever did that. Thank you. Okay, here come the golems. This is where things get rough. Come on! Burn, 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 burn! Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go! There we go! Woo! Yeah, mama! Let's go! Alpha Manticore is down! First attempt in my life. Woo! I was looking a little bit scary there with the torpor for a sec. Gee, believer. We didn't lose a single one. At least I don't think we did. Yeah, we even still have pumpkin. Nice. This makes me confident for the upcoming battle. The true battle that is yet to come. This was warm-up. We warm up with an Alpha Manticore. That's how we roll. And there you have it, everybody. The team which is victorious. And it got us through. Got us through. Nothing fancy. No high-level saddles. I'm proud right now. I was worried that the saddles might be a little bit weak, but I guess that's not the defining factor. We got our trophies. We got our skins. We got our pride intact. And I guess now, the only thing that's really left, make more bullets. We gotta kill the Dodo Wyvern somehow.
We happily took our well-deserved loot back home to celebrate our flawless win. And since we still had such an immense horde of amazing dinos, I knew I'd be taking them along for the true challenge, which was still to come. Since we had way more Rexes than the ones we used in the fight, I made many more cryopods to take the whole army with. Luckily, resources for that was no issue whatsoever at this point. It was also time to bring our bullets over to the trap, and I already knew it wouldn't be enough, which had me very worried, but there's only so many I can make in this time frame, so it is what it is. We made some last pieces to touch up on the trap, and as night fell, we could tell the Dodo Wyvern did not appreciate our efforts to end him. Day 99. So close, everybody. We are almost there. We used the little time we had left to make some very needed med brews, and just as many bullets as we could scrape together at this point for the remainder of the day. As the sun rose, dawning the final day of this epic adventure we embarked on, we took the time to remember all the things we had been through. The close calls with Lady Death, the friends we made, and the friends we lost. And above all, our victories. Scorched Earth sended us off with one last heat wave, during which I flew around partially for reminiscing, and for another to see if I could spot the fabled phoenix, but it was nowhere to be seen. Maybe another time. Last checkup on everything was made to be sure we wouldn't run into any issues as we waited for the sun to set one last time. Now, the Dodo Wyvern didn't spawn this night, so with a little bit of editing magic, we made the game skip one night exactly for it to appear. And as we were alerted to its presence, the final hunt was underway. It was essentially right where we had made the trap, which was amazing since that is the reason I made it here, since the majority of its spawn spots are in the trench. However, I feared for my life to lure it out because of all of the regular and zombie wyverns that were crammed into this tight space. But it had to be done. We had a slight issue though with the settings. See, there was no way a normal night would be enough time for me to kill it since I had by no means enough bullets. So I intended to set the settings so that the night would be of longer duration, but I ended up making the night go by super fast. So I quickly changed the settings to something more normal, which resulted in making it not despawn at all, which I don't know how that works, but that's precisely what I needed, so here we go.
big boy. Woo. Come on. Come on. Alright, I don't know if that did anything. I don't know if it's actually stuck. There we go. Hey, turrets! There we go! Let's give him a show! We also have rocket launcher. I don't know if I'm breaking my own structures with this, but... Oh crap, I do. Alright, let's maybe not use that then. Okay, there we go. Okay, I like that better. Yeah, because now I see damage bubbles. Okay, now we're talking. We'll get him! There we go. Okay. We like it when he does that. Yes, look at those damage numbers. Oh, but he is also dealing a lot of damage, honestly. Uh-oh. There goes one. Oh, I killed it. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is a bad idea. Why are you always mispositioning yourself, my bro? There we go. There we go, there we go, come on. He's bloodied. The turrets are still going. I'm surprised. We did it! Oh, we did it! I honestly can't believe we actually managed. I'm kind of speechless right now. I mean, it actually worked. We ran out of bullets, obviously, way too soon, but we knew that was going to happen. But we did it. That's right, buddy. We have officially dominated Scorched Earth.
And there you have it, folks. Our greatest adventure to date has concluded, with us having absolutely dominated what Scorched Earth could throw at us. And I want to thank you wholeheartedly for watching until the end. I truly hope you had a good time watching. I really enjoyed my time on this map, and I really think it is a very well designed ARK, so I'm glad that y'all recommended it to me. All I can say for the future is that my next 100 days ARK video will be in a map that you least expect it to be on. So stay tuned for that, my lovelies. And so, with all that being said, I hope to be seeing you very soon at our next big show. Until next time, take care now. Bye-bye.